I might as well just be the Pistons. This is basically, it's like the Pistons morning show or something like that. I think that's what this is. It's Cade Cunningham and who's the other dude? Ivy? Jesus Lord. What is going on, everybody? Thank you very much for tuning in. Good morning to you. Hopefully everybody's enjoying Tuesday, November 5th, 8 a.m. on the dot. Nothing going on today. No big deal. Just a regular day. I mean, maybe we have an election going on in a few hours. But other than that, nothing. Just nothing at all. I appreciate you guys hanging out on this Tuesday morning. You see the steam coming up. You guys see the steam coming. You guys want freaking steam? We'll get steam. We'll get a fresh cup of Joe every morning. That's fine. We'll make that happen. Got a lot to get into today. Looking forward to today's show. Where do we kind of I got a few different places that I want to start. I'm going to eventually start with Los Angeles Lakers basketball. And if you look to your if you look to your left, my right, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. My brain doesn't know what to do in these situations. We got a lot of good topics that we're going to get into. We'll spend a time on a ton of different things. If you guys got comments, if you want to be a part of the show, forgot to hit live on Instagram, go live on Instagram. Okay, we're there. All right, Insta's live as well. If you want to be a part of the show, obviously encourage you guys to throw your comments in. I'll do everything I can to get to them. All right, what is going on, my people? What is going on? Fresh cup of Joe. This is the second cup today. Second cup this morning. Kind of a lot. I got to be honest with you. I'm taking them back here way too easily, way too quickly. But that's what it is right now. All right, this is what we got in store for today's show. Lakers 1-3 on the road trip. I'm going to spend some time this morning. I did a post-game show yesterday, obviously, on the channel, and appreciate everybody that's tuning into that as well. I spent some time talking about the Lakers, some of the concerns there. AD's health. Hate the quotes that was coming out from after yesterday's game, even listening to Anthony Davis. This dude doesn't look like he's 100% healthy. Keep that one in mind. He's dealing with ankle, heel. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but he's obviously dealing with his own issues. Literally no depth for the Lakers. I don't know if you guys have seen that bench, but there ain't nothing there. A couple of us can join that bench for the Lakers and help out as well. There's a clip. Jayson Tatum was on a podcast and basically talked about how bad he wanted to be a Los Angeles Laker, and Lakers said, no soup for you, Jayson Tatum. You're not coming to our organization. How dare you think you're going to come to our organization? Tatum really opened up a little bit about wanting to be a Los Angeles Laker. I'll play that. Guest tonight or today, this morning, tonight. What are we doing here? Sammy Long, who's been doing a lot of these preview videos, he's going to join us, talk some Lakers basketball. I'm going to have him also sit in and talk a little bit Dodgers free agency. Dodgers already starting to make some decisions on what they're going to do. Their decision with Walker Buehler, whether the right decision, not the right decision, not too much of a surprise. What are they going to do with Teoscar Hernandez? What about some of the other players like Blake Trinan and Kike Hernandez? Kind of go down the list of some of the different Dodgers that are question marks coming into free agency. Free agency started yesterday in baseball, started at 2 p.m. yesterday. What a difference between NBA free agency and Major League Baseball. NBA free agency, you would think it's election night, but no, it is NBA free agency's got so much pub behind it, but for some reason, Major League Baseball does not. For those who, I'm going to spend the first 45 minutes of the show going Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. What do you guys think? Relax. I'm just joking. Okay. I put one thing on there last time that said that Trump was on Rogan, and I was talking about the amount of views that are on there, and look at the way the new media is. I had one guy's like, I unsubscribed. Relax. Everybody gets so angry about politics. Just relax. Let me take a deep breath here. It's Sliwa. All right, let's get started with the show. All right, Lakers played last night. Before, can I get us off to, I want to start us a little bit different this morning. I want to play 1 minute. There were just two highlights yesterday. Lakers got Memphis coming up tomorrow. Yesterday, I played that Saquon Barkley where he basically hurdles backwards, which makes absolutely no sense at all. Can I just start the show off a little light here for a quick second? Did you guys see this? What the hell is Ja Morant doing? Look at these two Ja Morant highlights real quick. I want you guys to see these real quick. Take a look.
Morant off the bounce. 360 spin and a finish. He did not do that.
Oh, no.
360 spin and a finish.
All right. I want to start off with that. I'm sitting here this morning and I'm going through some of my stuff. I saw one of the highlights yesterday. I saw the other. I'm like, what the hell is that? Lakers got Memphis tomorrow. All right, Lakers got some issues. My people, for those who were excited about the 3-0 start for the Los Angeles Lakers, beating a couple teams that you thought for a quick second there, you thought the win against Minnesota, nice, impressive. The win against the Phoenix Suns, nice follow-up victory. Then you take on the Sacramento Kings team that beat you 4 straight games last year and have really dominated the Lakers. Lakers start the season out 3-0. People are feeling good about themselves. Even the loss that they had, you knew they were going to go on a 5-game road trip. The loss that they had against the Phoenix Suns, I could point to some kind of errors for the Lakers, but they didn't get their ass kicked. They hung right there with the Phoenix Suns. It was on the road. It was the first loss of the season. Now, granted, they did start that game 26-8, so that part was very disappointing that they gave up that lead. But even that loss, it's like, all right, the world's not going to end. And then reality started setting in. You play the Cleveland Cavaliers, get your ass kicked. You do. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, go down the list of Evan Mobley, Karis LeVert, go down the list of all these really, really good, talented players for the Cavs. Cavs are still undefeated, but they took the Lakers, and it wasn't even a contest. All right, that's 2 losses now in a row on the road. Okay, let's see what they can do against the Toronto Raptors. They're going to blow them out, right? Well, they did. They started the game by blowing them out, and then all of a sudden, you get to that fourth quarter, and it's about a 6-point game, something along those lines. A little frustrating, but Lakers got the win. I think we could all move on from it, and that was the thing I thought was going to be most important. Just walk away with a win, and they did. Then last night, they had the Detroit Pistons. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know Pistons basketball, because I don't. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm watching Pistons basketball on a nightly basis, because I'm not. The Pistons just look like a better team. This wasn't a fluke. They played tougher. They played harder. Some of their youngsters like Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, even some other players that we've seen in the league for a long time, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., a really nice performance from a Pistons team that kind of came out of nowhere. I'm watching this game. By the time the first quarter is done, I'm like, this is the Pistons? That's not the Pistons that I know. 33-22. They're up, I think by halftime, they're up by 14 points, something along those lines. Bron hits a 3 late to make it 14. And you're watching this Lakers team, and I'm like, well, what am I not understanding? Are the Pistons better than I thought, or are the Lakers worse than I thought? It's probably a combination of the two. But Lakers have started this road trip. There's only one road game left. It's against Memphis tomorrow, and we'll probably see some more Ja Morant highlights like we just saw. But they start the game tomorrow against it's going to be the final game for the Pistons coming up tomorrow. Final game against the Memphis Grizzlies of this 5-game road trip. And they're 1-3 right now on the road. And my issue more than anything else is I don't know if we got overhyped in those first 3 games, but I thought they beat quality opponents. So I don't think we were getting a little too excited. Sometimes it's not just winning games, but it's who you beat in the process. And now 4 games later, Lakers are 1-3. A real shot tomorrow of ending this road trip 1-4. Memphis is 4-4. They're nothing great or spectacular. I think they got some injuries. Desmond Bane, I want to say, is out right now. I think they got some guys that are out. I didn't see Marcus Smart in the box score yesterday, too. I'm not sure if he's out. I don't know their full situation. We'll let Sammy handle that tonight when he does his preview video. But they have a real chance of going 1-4. And one of the things that I've noticed for me is some real flaws for the Lakers that go well beyond, hey, they just didn't play well tonight. Hey, they just didn't shoot well tonight. They got real flaws. They got, that team that we saw in those first 3 games, maybe everything was just clicking. Maybe everybody was super fresh because the season just started. But I think everybody knows this, that for the Lakers, one of the issues that they may have is as the season progresses, Anthony Davis is not going to get fresher. LeBron James is not going to get fresher. Yesterday, I'm watching the game, and in that fourth quarter, we'll kind of shift gears here. I got a couple of things that I want to hit on the Lakers, but let me shift gears here to Anthony Davis for a quick second. AD, who's dominating the NBA right now, just dominating him. There's nothing negative you can say about Anthony Davis. You could try to find something negative, but there's nothing really negative to say about Anthony Davis. He had another 37 last night against the Pistons, also 9 rebounds, gets to the free throw line 14 times, shoots over 50% from the field. The only flaw he had was his three-point shooting, 0 for 4. But I think everybody would agree Anthony Davis is a monster so far this year. A couple of minutes left in the game, he starts holding his ankle heel area. And I'm going to read you the quote. When I was doing the post game yesterday, I caught it on time to play Anthony Davis on Spectrum Sportsnet, and his tone didn't sound good. He sounded like it was a concern. Here's what he said. He said, I'll talk to my trainer and just kind of figure out what exactly is going on. I've been managing it since the summer, honestly, and my goal for every game is to be on the floor, and I just kind of landed directly on the spot. That's been killing me, so we'll figure it out. There is 82 games obviously 82 games in the regular season. We are 7 games in, and Anthony Davis was on the floor the last couple of games, but yesterday it looked like he had a real injury. He had something that was stopping him from being the Anthony Davis that you need towards the end of games. And Lakers didn't lose this game yesterday because Anthony Davis wasn't healthy. Lakers lost this game yesterday because they couldn't grab an offensive rebound if their life depended on it. They were out hustled. They were out executed. The young players for the Detroit Pistons were not looking at the Lakers like they were intimidated. They were looking at the Lakers like, yeah, who's guarding me? Austin Reeves? Cool. I'll just go right to the basket. Who's guarding me? LeBron James? Yeah, no problem. I'll just find a way to get to the glass or get to the rim. They lost for other reasons. But the Anthony Davis piece of this, that's the one that I think sticks out to me the most more than anything else. AD, I don't need to tell anybody this. If he misses any time, the question's not are the Lakers going to lose? It's how much are they going to lose by? He's the entire roster right now. You can, make some points about LeBron James. Sure, cool. But that's because Anthony Davis is around. You can make some argument if you want about, but D'Lo and Austin Reeves. Cool. But that's because Anthony Davis is around. And if AD is missing anytime at all, and we're 7 games in and we're already having a conversation about Anthony Davis, I mean, what really is the point of trying to figure out what the season is going to be? I think we're all going to have the answer to that. The goal for the Lakers coming into this year, and I think this was the goal we all kind of talked about this. The goal coming into this year was, can you get the hell out of the play-in tournament? That was the goal for the Lakers. Well, you're going to need Anthony Davis playing at an MVP level and playing 75-plus games if you have any shot of that. And then you're going to also need all these other guys to contribute, which we'll get into in just a second. And that clearly was not happening last night. And I think this road trip for me, to just simplify it, this road trip has brought up so many red flags about this team, about this roster, about individual players that was easily hidden in those first 3 games. And that's why you never look at anything in a small sample size. I think the proper way to really assess the Lakers, you probably got to wait 20 games. You also got to wait. Hopefully, Vando and Christian Wood could come back and contribute, because when I get into the Lakers bench for a quick second, when I get into their depth, that's kind of a joke right now of what that looks like. But the Anthony Davis piece of it is very concerning. Nothing of what he said yesterday after the game gave me confidence. His tone, his body language. And, I'm not going to blame it on the USA Olympic run that the Lakers or that LeBron and Anthony Davis were on. But he clearly says that this is something, what do you say? I've been managing it since the summer, honestly, and my goal every game to be on the floor. But he said he's been managing it since the summer. So what does that mean? Did it happen during USA? I have no idea. But that's always the concern. Anytime you got a player like Anthony Davis, who does have an injury history, who's playing in, so even LeBron for his age playing in USA Olympics. Again, I'm not saying don't play there, but it's impossible to be a Laker fan and say, well, if they play there, how will that affect them once the regular season starts? Not a good day for the Los Angeles Lakers yesterday, and a really just an awful stretch on the road. I mean, I got no other way to put it. Pistons were supposed to be kind of a slam dunk, and Lakers walked into that game thinking, oh, this is going to be nothing. That team's going to fold. JB Bickerstaff, the coach of the Pistons, who used to coach the Cavs, he's got those boys playing some tough basketball. I give the Pistons credit, but I'm also very disappointed watching that Lakers team play. All right, let me see. Let me see what we got here. I'm going to look at some of the comments here, and then I'm going to demolish the Lakers' depth and the bench. If you are looking for somebody to demolish the Lakers' depth and the bench, just hang out right here. I got you. I will demolish them. Yeah, that's a concern. No question about that. Brian Ahmed says, make this a little bigger here so I could actually read these comments. JJ should have circled the Pistons game instead of game 1 of the NBA Finals. Yeah, I saw people going on the where they, I think they were on Instagram. I forget where it was that I saw it, but a lot of people were cutting that clip of JJ Redick basically circling the start of the NBA Finals. Hey, it sounds good. Makes for some good social media, but how about we get through these 82 games first before we start worrying about that? Izzy says, I see us going on an amazing run, Slee. Izzy, I blame a lot of this on you. I got to be honest with you. I blame a lot of this on you because let me tell you why I blame this on you. Because you said the Lakers were going to start 10-0. Okay. And when you said that, I was this close to blocking you. I got that trigger on block like no tomorrow. I've never blocked anybody. No, I think I actually have. That's actually a lie. All right, let's keep looking at this. I blame MT. He said it was going to be an easy victory. I think the players took the same mindset. Michael coming up Friday or Monday. I got to figure out which day. So we'll get Michael on here pretty soon. All right, let me see what else we got here. Only presidential elections. What do you guys want to do? Election talk? Let's go election talk right now. By the way, this doesn't help anything. This the Bronny stuff is really actually grabbing some steam right now. How many different games now on the road is a crowd chanting, "We want Bronny," and I want to chant, "We don't care," But these other teams are sitting back there and they're saying to themselves, "Okay, how cool is this? We get to play the Lakers, we get to beat the Lakers, and then we get to chant, 'We want Bronny' for no reason at all." Yeah, they're definitely getting their way. All right. Let's go election talk. All right, let me just break this down. You got the Republicans on one side, you got the Democrats on the other side. About all I got. People get so angry, man. Geez, elections just brings out the worst in people. Everybody just relax for a second here. It's fine. Everything's going to be fine. I don't know that, actually. I don't know if that's fine. All right, I told everybody, and I'm going to get into the Lakers' depth here real quick. If you've been watching Lakers basketball, and last night is a perfect example, Lakers don't have anybody that they can rely on past LeBron and Anthony Davis. They don't. And I don't want to even exclusively rip on the Lakers bench for a second, because I think that would be unfair to the other guys that deserve to be ripped as well. But let me kind of put this in two pieces here. Depth is very, very important in any sport. You got to have depth. You got to have other guys other than the stars that you can rely on. You got to have other guys that have to have some form of consistency. They don't have to be superstars. They don't have to drop 25 a night. They don't have to, have 10 assists. They don't have to do that. They just have to kind of play their role, and they have to as best as they can. No one's asking you to do what the stars need to do. They need these other players to show up night in and night out, and just do their job. Again, just do your job. Come into work, clock in, make sure that you work your ass off. Everybody knows that you're not actually running the business. There's other people that are keeping the corporation afloat, I guess, if you want to call it. But you got to do your job. It's very important for these other players to do their job. Let me just go through each one of these guys that played alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron yesterday, and then the bench is going to be a separate conversation. Rui Hachimura last night, 2 of 6, 8 points, 4 rebounds. You're getting paid $17 million a year. Can you just be a sort of consistent basketball player? Just sort of consistent. Nobody's asking you to go be, if you want to use other role, but nobody's asking you to be Robert Horry. Nobody's asking you to be Rick Fox. Nobody's asking you to be Derek Fisher. Nobody's asking you to be Lamar Odom. Can you just be a player that we have sort of an idea what Rui's going to give every night to the Lakers? Because I don't know what the hell he's going to give every night. I really don't. I have harped on Rui Hachimura from the beginning. When I was at that Lakers game against the Kings, my question to JJ Redick was about Rui. I'm zeroing in on Rui because I feel like he's such an important piece. I have no idea what he's going to give every single night. I have no idea. He had 8 points last night. One of those threes came with like 30 seconds left, and it meant nothing. So there's Rui Hachimura for you. All right, let's go to Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves, two things that stick out to me, Austin Reeves, so far this year. Number one, the guy is kind of a turnover machine. I don't know if he's always been like this, and I'm just noticing it more now, but way too many turnovers from Austin Reeves. Way too many turnovers. You're not the point guard. You're not Chris Paul or one of these guys that has the ball in his hands every single possession. Austin Reeves took 10 threes yesterday. He made 3 of them. All right, your shot's not falling. Can you get a little bit closer to the basket? 17, I mentioned the 4 turnovers. Inefficient play, and they are going at him. Whoever the Lakers are playing are targeting Austin Reeves and saying, we're going to go get buckets, and we're going to go do it on Austin Reeves. Let's keep going down the list. D'Angelo Russell, 4 of 14. Between D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, there's 7 turnovers right there. There's, 7, 11 of 31 from the field. So you're shooting basically just under 35% or right around 35% from the field. Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, and Austin Reeves in a game against the Detroit Pistons. How can all 3 of them be that inefficient, that turnover prone? And on the defensive side, just a complete liability, at least from a D'Lo and an Austin Reeves perspective. Some of these other younger players were just feasting at the opportunity to go after them. That's not going to get it done. And I when I say this, I mean it. I have no idea what Rui, Austin Reeves, and D'Lo are going to do on a night in, night out basis. I don't. Or I don't know if it's going to be efficient, or I don't know if it's going to be high turnovers. I'm not 100% sure. Let me put those 3 to the side for a quick second. Lakers have no bench at all. No bench at all. Remember before the season started 2 years in a row, we all started hyping up Max Christie? Max Christie last night played 4 minutes. That tells you what J.J. Redick thinks about Max Christie right now. And, Cam Reddish was getting a lot of those minutes. He was getting a lot of that opportunity. But we've hyped up Max Christie. Dalton Knecht is going to need time. Like, the guy is 7-8 games into his NBA career. If you're asking Dalton Knecht to come in and be the savior, then you got the wrong expectations on Dalton Knecht. But Max Christie, how about Gabe Vincent? Gabe Vincent, at least Max Christie is, I can't really even say this about him too, because he just signed a 4-year deal. He's making $30+ million. Gabe Vincent got his $33 million contract as well. Who the hell can you depend on this team outside of LeBron and Anthony Davis? Who? Who can you really truly say, I know exactly what that guy's going to give the Lakers on any given night? And the bench specifically is so bad. The bench is so bad. There isn't a guy on that bench that you could look at and say, okay, I feel good about bringing this guy in. Gabe Vincent is supposed to be a player, unfortunately for the Lakers, at least so far since he's been a Laker, that has not panned out at all. Was he injured last year? Yes. Is he coming? Is it just one game? Sure, that's fine. But I have no idea what any of these guys are going to bring to the Lakers every single night. And this is kind of where my biggest concern is right now with the Lake Show. Does Anthony Davis have to be healthy? Of course he does. But at the end of the day, you look at this team and you look at this roster, they got so many flaws and they got so many question marks. I wish what we can say is, you know what, if the Lakers just execute better, they're going to win games. I wish we can say, there's this obvious problem that once this guy comes back, it's all taken care of. But I don't think that's the case for the Lakers. And now all of a sudden, what's going to end up happening to the Lakers is Vando and Christian Wood not only have to come back, but have to be key contributors to the Lakers and a big part of that bench if the Lakers, obviously are going to try to accomplish what they're hoping for in the Western Conference, which is trying to be a top 6 seed or somewhere around those lines. All right, let's see what we got here from everybody. Did I demolish them enough? All right, let's go election talk right now. I think right now, walking in, Pennsylvania is, this is a big swing state here. You got to get Pennsylvania. Everybody relax. Everybody starts hallucinating, man. I'm ready to play. I'll take $1 million now and $1 million every year after. These people chanting for Bronny in away games are trolling the Lakers, LOL. 100% they are trolling the Lakers. That's my point. That's my exact point that I'm talking about when I bring up Bronny James. It's like, think about this if you're the road opponent. We get to watch the Lakers play. LeBron and Anthony Davis are out here. We get to kick their ass. And then at the end of the game, we get to chant, "We want Bronny." I mean, they're getting a little bit of everything. They get everything that they want. That's not a good thing. You can win 30 games with no talent of just hustle and effort. The Lakers need playoff mentality all season. I hate to say this. I really do hate to say this. I was so impressed with the Pistons yesterday. Why was I impressed with the Pistons? I was impressed with the Pistons because all they did was outwork the Lakers. They got youngsters that are smooth as hell. Cade Cunningham's a smooth-ass player. You know that dude had 17, 11, and 11 yesterday. He's 23 years old. Just a incredible young talent in the NBA. And yeah, I mean, that's impressive. But the Lakers, there is no, I think they walk into games thinking this is going to be a walk in the park, and then they get other teams know, hey, if we just play hard, I guarantee you, JB Bickerstaff yesterday was just simply saying to a lot of these teams, or saying to a lot of these, a lot of his young players, just play hard, and whatever the hell happens, happens. Let me figure out the X's and O's. Let me put you guys in the right position. But if you just play hard against the Lakers, you might have a shot here. All right, let's see what we have here. I mean, Ohio, if you don't get Ohio and Georgia, I mean, what are we doing here? All right, buddy, relax here. Everybody relax here. All right, here's what here's the one other thing that I'll say. And let me actually just play this right now, just because I think the timing of it will be good. I want to do this right now. Do I want to play Tatum right now, or should I play Tatum later? All right, let's play Tatum here real quick. We'll go back to the late. No, I don't want to do it right now. We'll do Sammy, and then we'll come back to this. Tomorrow's game against the Memphis Grizzlies, by the way, just to kind of give everybody an idea here, it's going to be an interesting one. That's going to be an interesting game because I'll play Tatum towards the end. I don't want to play it right now because I feel like I can't really get into it until kind of react to some of the stuff there. I do have some angles on that, so I'll wait on Tatum. But Lakers got Memphis tomorrow. I got no idea if Anthony Davis is going to play. I got no idea if, some of these other Laker players are going to show up. I got no idea if this bench is going to find a different way to contribute. I genuinely have no idea. But if you do walk back to Crypto.com Arena coming up on Friday, if that's what happens to the Lakers, they come back on Friday and they're 1-4 on this road trip. What a disaster of a road trip after starting the season out. After starting the season out 3-0. All right, let's look at some of your comments here. I said this already. The pair of AR and D'Lo need to be separated 1 second. We need a 6-man ACP. I miss Dennis, Alex, both better options. Yeah, I don't know if you brought this up yesterday, but somebody brought this up, and I wasn't opposed to it. I thought it was an interesting. I should actually do a video on just that topic from yesterday. One of the topics yesterday was, what do you think of bringing D'Lo off the bench to try to help the bench? You could put Gabe Vincent. You already have enough firepower to start out that game. Gabe Vincent can offer a little bit more spacing. And then D'Angelo Russell, especially if Vando comes back and Wood comes back, now all of a sudden you have somewhat of a bench. I don't think it's a terrible idea. I don't think the Lakers will do it. I think that they will. The problem is, okay, you could say, well, why don't you bring Austin Reeves off the bench? Reeves is not a playmaker like D'Angelo Russell. D'Lo can set up other guys. He can have a game like last night. I think he had 8 assists last night. D'Lo has no problem dishing the rock. D'Lo has no problem setting up other guys. So I do think that's an interesting kind of mentality to have there. All right, let's see. Yeah, Rui is too inconsistent for sure. Here's my cup of Joe. He's asking where my cup of Joe is. All right. How about I stop talking for a second and we bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Sammy Long. Sammy, you there with us? What's up, Sammy?
Flebo, what's up, dude?
Brother, how are you?
Doing good. That was a little tough one last night, but you know,
Yeah, a little tough.
gotta live with it.
All right, so you don't have to answer the question, but let's immediately just get into it. Are you voting Republican or Democrat? Don't answer. I'm just joking. Okay, I'm just joking. No election talk here. No election talk. I keep saying no election talk, but you better believe I'm weaving that in.
Well, it's hard not to. It's what everyone's talking about today.
I don't know. I feel like right now a lot of people, people will talk about the swing states. I'm too busy talking about the Lakers bench. I think it's just as important to the future of our country and the future to society is having a Lakers bench that contributes. That's my personal opinion.
I don't understand how a guy gets paid $13 million a year and doesn't even scratch. Take a guess who it is on the bench.
All right, that's good stuff right there. Sammy, I appreciate you joining us, buddy. Obviously, Sammy does all the preview videos here on Hoops Talk. He's doing a great job kind of setting us up for every game. I know you'll set us up for Lakers, Grizzlies coming up tomorrow. Just let me start off with this. They are 1-3 on this road. How surprised are you that kind of coming off of the 3-0 and three good teams? Like I think the wins against Minnesota. If Lakers started out the season 3-0, but they beat Utah, Portland, and I would typically throw the Pistons into that equation, but I no longer will. But I thought they beat three quality teams. I think a lot of people were feeling good about the start of the season. How surprised are you that they're 1-3 so far on this road trip?
It's definitely frustrating. I mean, you look at, the wins, right? I think that's why people were so excited is that you're beating teams that you're going to be having tiebreakers against in the Western Conference first three games. I think people give them a pass for that Phoenix game. There was obviously that kind of late push in the back on AD that wasn't called, close game, understandable. Phoenix
could have gone either way. Could have gone either way.
Yeah. That one you're going to accept, and going 1-1 with Phoenix. The Cavs game was alarming, and then you kind of feel like you got it underway with the Raptors. I thought the Raptor game was a pivotal moment for the Lakers. The fact that they got out to such a big lead, 25 at halftime, shot like 41.7% from three, something like that, and then was able to come back. The Raptors come all the way back. They still hold on to the game. That was a big, thing for the future. And then to come out flat on 2 days rest was just really. At some point, we've been saying it all show, the bench has to contribute. It can't just on a night where Anthony Davis scores 37 points. You don't think that the Lakers would lose by 12, and that's what happened. And it's just Gabe Vincent's giving you nothing. He didn't even scratch. He didn't get a rebound, didn't get an assist, didn't get points. Max Christie was 0 for 2. That can't happen.
Played 4 minutes. That's got to tell you a little bit something too about it's not even, hey, how'd Max Christie do? I think it has more to do with is JJ Redick saying to himself this early in the season, you know what? I'm going to try Cam Reddish. I'm going to try something different. We have spent the last couple of years, two off seasons in a row, kind of hyping up the Max Christie train. And I don't know if that's just us Laker fans trying to be excited about a young player that the Lakers have, or if there's a real reason to be excited about him. But he doesn't look confident out there. That's my one takeaway with a player like that. I'm watching. These are not good examples, but I'll give you an example. The youngsters for the Pistons yesterday, they look comfortable. Even Dalton Connect, when he gets playing time. Man, listen, teams are going to adjust on him, and now they're going to overplay him to try to have to try to get to the basket if he's going to get a bucket. But Dalton Connect has a certain type of Max Christie, it's like sometimes you look into this guy's eyes. I'm like, I don't know if this guy believes he's supposed to be a real player off the bench for the Lakers.
I totally agree. And building on Friday, I thought he was one of the guys that kind of staved off the run. He had 7 points, 5 rebounds. I thought he was really good defensively in that game. And when they were going on their run, he kind of had a couple big buckets there in the third quarter, middle of the game. And it's just, it's the same thing as last year. It's like the Lakers get up to play the really good teams. They get up to play the primetime matchups. And you have a young, hungry Pistons team that, even though their record is not going to be very good this year, Cade Cunningham, I think, is one of the biggest, brightest young stars in the game. You forget Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway. Like, there's not a bunch of scrubs on that team. That starting lineup isn't terrible. And, the beginning of the game, it felt like not just to call out LeBron, but he was kind of walking through stuff. I thought it was pretty ironic when he was getting mad at Rui and guys like that. It just wasn't – I don't know.
Well, I'll say this. I think the Lakers are not no team should be able to walk into a game and say, you know what, even if we bring 70% of our game, we're going to win. Probably the Boston Celtics are the only team in the NBA that can play poorly, walk into a game not focused at all, and still come out with a W. The Lakers are not the Boston Celtics. They don't have this. They don't have the depth. They don't have the consistency. They don't have the young stars like the Boston Celtics do. So shame on the Lakers for thinking they can walk into Detroit and just get a W. And I put that on JJ Redick as well for not getting the guys ready. You're down 11 by the time the first quarter is done, and obviously you're down 14 at halftime. I'm gonna keep going here for a quick second, and let's stay with kind of whether we're picking on individual players or not. Is this bench? How do we feel confident that this is going to change for the bench? I think the only thing that I could think of is this: Vando comes back, your bench is better. Christian Wood comes back, and at least you have a veteran that's been in the NBA that can actually, he's not going to be afraid to shoot. He's not going to be afraid of the moment. Is it as simple as just the players they're relying on right now? I don't know if that's going to change. I mean, the one I would have most confidence is in Gabe Vincent, just because he's been in the NBA for a while. But is this improved just because those are they now depending on those two guys to come back and have a real impact?
Totally. I think you see that with the runs, the big swings so far this season. That's where Jared Vanderbilt helps out, is that you can, Friday night against the Raptors when RJ Barrett is 31 points and can't miss in the second half. That's where you put a Jared Vanderbilt on and go, hey, he's gone. He's not shooting the ball. It's going to be someone else. He helps defensively. Christian Wood adds some nice offense, especially center. Don't know what's going on with the whole Jackson Hayes situation. So don't know how long the Lakers will have him. And the Vincent and Christie part are so frustrating because Connect, I give a pass. Connect's still trying to get into the league. As you mentioned, he's shown a lot of confidence. I think he's only going to keep getting better and better as season goes on.
Yeah, he needs time.
He needs time. And Gabe Vincent, it felt like everyone gave him a pass because he was hurt for most of last year and he didn't really do anything the last 3 weeks of the season, including the playoffs. And it felt like, full training camp, get him underway. And then Max Christie, you're counting on because the Lakers clearly believed in him by giving him a 4-year, $32 million contract. So he can't be putting up 0 for 2 nights with 0 points and 1 rebound. I mean, that it just can't happen. And then so you're seeing with the bench, Rui has a bad night, D'Lo has a bad night, and you have 3 guys that basically showed up, and that's not really a recipe for success.
Which of those 3 do you have most confidence in? Between Rui, between D'Lo, between Austin Reeves, of those 3 players, which of the 3 do you feel best about night in, night out?
I feel best about Reeves night in, night out because he definitely is the most consistent. I know everyone wants to hate on D'Lo, and D'Lo's kind of the easy target, and he deserves a lot of it. He has not been good so far this year. But I do think Rui gets a pass for starting out the season really good and then just kind of being a no-show the last couple games. And D'Lo does have the ability to – we know what D'Lo is. D'Lo can be a top-tier scorer. He's not a good defender because of his size. He never is. I think putting D'Lo on the bench – would be interesting. I know you don't want to mess with the starting lineup that got you there because he is so good offensively. I feel like he would run second units and you're not having the same kind of elite level guard play on the other side. Because that's where the Lakers' downfall is, that Reeves and D'Lo aren't good defenders. So they can drop 20 a game, and guys like, it's going to be interesting tomorrow against the Grizzlies. John Morant, one of the best guards in all of basketball, and we know that he drives the basket. What's going to happen if these guys can't defend?
Did you see his highlights yesterday? John Morant? What are those?
What are those? 2 of them.
I don't know what both of those are. If you gave me a 5-foot hoop and said all you have to do is, you don't even have to get off the air, just spin around. I'd probably trip and tear my ACL. What is he doing? What are those? I honestly I don't. Those are the smoothest looking layups. That's beautiful basketball.
We've had some crazy highlights between Saquon Barkley jumping over Jacksonville defenders behind himself, and then John Morant doing that. Like, it is unbelievable.
By the way, for those who don't know, Sammy is also he's a Chiefs fan, and yesterday during the Monday night game, it's people like you that I have no sympathy for. Okay, you are acting as if you're texting me during the game, and you're acting as if this was the Super Bowl, like either Patrick Mahomes is getting his 4th or he's not. And he's got 3 right now, right? So he's getting his 4th or he's not. And instead it was week 8 against Tampa. And of course the Chiefs were going to win. I don't understand You are so spoiled as a NFL fan.
Hold on.
It was the most ridiculous text thread I've ever seen that you were that concerned about a game that, of course, Kansas City is going to win.
So I was to clarify this because everyone's like, oh, you're a Chiefs fan, you're a bandwagon, you're from Southern California. My dad's from Kansas City. My mom is from Kansas City.
No, you have connections. Yeah, that's connections.
I watched the Brady Quinn, Tyler Thigpen, Matt Castle years. So people forget that not too long ago, the Chiefs had playoff meltdowns against the Colts, the Titans, lost to Pittsburgh on all field goals. So
and then they got Patrick Mahomes.
We take these games and he almost got hurt last night. So I almost had a heart attack. It was a rough night for a while between the Lakers and the Chiefs.
Yeah, I jumped a little bit all over the place. This is getting a little bit. I'm going to have to do a video just on this, but this is getting kind of somebody suggested this yesterday. D-Law on the bench is the move. Okay, couple questions here. A, do you think that would be a good idea to help that bench? You actually have somebody that could walk in that bench unit and run things. By the way, I think you need Vando and you need Christian Wood. I see some people saying if we're waiting for Christian Wood to save the season, the Lakers are in a lot of trouble. You might be 100% right there. But what do you think of that suggestion, number one? And how do you think D'Lo would react to coming off the bench?
Well, that is a great comment because that's the tough part is you don't know if D'Lo is going to respond to that. Remember, D'Lo got benched last year. Didn't do a whole lot, got inserted back in the starting lineup because of injuries and was excellent the last 3 months. So he was good. The only way I would make this move is when Jared Vanderbilt comes back. Because if you're just replacing D'Lo in the starting lineup for a Max Christie or a Gabe Vincent, you're taking away scoring, and I don't know that either of those guys are good enough defensively to where you're improving the starting lineup that much. If you put Jared Vanderbilt in there and you're going to more rely on the other four starters and saying, we're going to have a lockdown defender on the outside and we're going to try to bring D'Lo off the bench, I could hear that. But I think until he comes back, I don't think that's a realistic option the way the bench is playing right now.
Do you know, and I know you're going to do your preview video tonight, do you know what's the health of some of these players from some of the Grizzlies? Have you seen it, or you're still got to do your
I still got to do a little research, but
Okay.
I mean, they've been rolling, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, and Ja. I think they're all going to be available. So,
okay. Preview video for the Lakers coming up later tonight. So keep an eye out for that. Probably around 8:00 or so at the latest. We'll have that posted. And Sammy will be previewing the upcoming game for the Lakers. Let's switch gears here for a quick second. One of the reasons why, Sammy, I love having you on here, aside from the Lakers, I know you're just into sports in general. Free agency started yesterday for the Dodgers. By the way, just a quick heads up, Doug McCain from Dodgers Nation is going to join the show tomorrow. So we'll talk a little bit more about free agency for the Dodgers as well. What do you make of the Dodgers giving Teoscar Hernandez got the qualifying offer? Now he's probably going to decline it and try to get, more money in longer term. But Walker Buehler, the Dodgers went out of their way to not extend the $21 million offer for next year for Walker Buehler. He's officially a free agent. How do you think this plays out with Walker Buehler, and how much of a priority do you think Walker Buehler is going to be? I would tell you, I'll let you go first here, but I don't think he's going to be a main priority for the Dodgers. That's my opinion. But what's your thought there?
Yeah, it's tough because this is the hard time of year when you win a world title, unreal, and it was cool to see Walker Buehler close the game out, knowing that he was the guy. He was the guy. Tommy John surgeries. He was the reason that people were picking against the Dodgers in the sense that, the pitching staff wasn't good. And specifically, they're talking about Walker Buehler because he has struggled so much all year. And, to their credit, he hadn't given them much reason for faith, but was excellent in the playoffs, totally bumped his free agency. I am surprised they didn't extend the qualifying offer because it's a 1-year deal. I do think Walker Buehler has a lot of value on the 1 year. Teoscar makes sense. He's going to decline that.
Can I stop you real quick on I think they know he's not going to take that qualifying, which is why. Well, I mean, I guess you could say they make the same case because Teoscar's not going to take it as well. But I think here's why I hesitate with Walker Buehler, and I'm not even talking about whether you think Walker Buehler should be re-signed or not. I'm talking about this is how the Dodgers do business. Yeah. The Dodgers typically, emotion doesn't always get in the way of how they do business. Okay, you might say Clayton Kershaw. That's a little bit different. But here's why this is different for Walker Buehler and why it's different for the Dodgers. Walker Buehler's not 25 years old. He's not 27 years old. He's over 30. He might be 31. I'm not 100% sure, but
I think he's 31, I think. Yeah.
Okay, I think 31 years old. He is still coming off 2 Tommy Johns, whether you like it or not. He's coming off 2 Tommy Johns. Walker Buehler, if he never pitches another game for the Los Angeles Dodgers, every time he walks into Dodger Stadium, I don't care if he's rocking another jersey. I don't care if he's where was he? I think he was in Cerritos, and there was video of him and Kike, and they were getting mobbed. He's a legend, a sports legend.
He'll never buy a beer again in Los Angeles.
He's a sports legend in LA, period, for the rest of his life. No questions asked. One of the most clutch pitchers the Dodgers have ever had in the postseason. He's going to go try to get paid, as he should. You know, he's coming off 2 Tommy Johns. He's done everything for the Dodgers up to this point. He was a surprise to everybody to do what he did in the postseason this year. The Dodgers, I'm sure they're saying to themselves, if we can bring you back for the right amount, we'll bring you back. Yeah. If not, go get paid somewhere else, and then the Dodgers will do what they kind of always do. They got all this depth that comes in that position anyways, of people coming back from some of the injuries that they've had.
I'm also thinking that there's a couple, some are coming off the top of my head. Corbin Burns, there is some good starting pitchers in this free agent class. So, you know, that depresses the starting pitcher market. Walker Buehler, as you mentioned, is coming off the surgeries. Unreal playoff run, is older. Corbin Burns is younger. There's a couple other guys who are going to be in front of him. Walker Buehler is probably the 4th or 5th guy in line for a starting pitching role. I agree in the sense that I could see a bad team that has trouble selling tickets going, oh, hey, you know, the guy that just finished off the World Series in the 9th inning against the Yankees, well, we just signed him, and probably paying a little bit more than they should. So I think the Dodgers are counting on the depressed market. It's interesting what their thought is right now for the rotation. Obviously, the parades and everything, probably not thinking about it yet, but Shohei's coming back.
Yep.
I mean, Emmett Sheehan's coming back.
Glasnow's
coming back. Gavin Stone won't be back. River Ryan, who they were really high on, is coming back. Dustin
Yamamoto.
So right there, you don't know if he actually is. And they're interested in Burns. They're interested in other guys. So that could be a signal that they're going to be with him. We lost Alan here. Yeah, Alan's still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
But it's a signal that he's going to maybe become an LA, and that would be a big deal.
All right, you got me there? Am I here?
Yeah, you here? We need our star. We need our host.
I was gone. I was trying to make the move John Morant was making yesterday. Okay, just to stay on the Dodgers here for a quick second. You know, I think it's interesting here after Walker Buehler. I'm going to read actually a couple of these here. I do feel like this is the type of thing that the Dodgers would do, where they would basically say, thank you for everything. You've been unbelievable, but go get paid. Like I'm sure that I'm sure there's a team out there that will give Walker Buehler. I don't know how much he's going to get paid. I don't know what he's going to get a year. Let's say he's getting 20 a year for 3 years, and the Dodgers only want to give him 40 for 2. I don't know. I'm making up numbers. Maybe he's going to get more than that, but there will be a team that says we will overpay for Walker Buehler. And what the Dodgers typically do is they get the best of that player before he leaves. And it's kind of like the Dodgers got every ounce out of Walker Buehler before he was open to the market. And if you're Walker Buehler, you got 2 chips already. I know there were a lot of quotes he wants to come back. I completely understand that. But I think when the dust settles, when the parade is over, when all that is done, you do get down to business, and then you make your decisions based off of what's the best business decision for you.
Like, I'm curious about the Kershaw thing as well. Like, obviously, Clayton Kershaw, lifelong Dodger. You think of the Dodgers, you think of Clayton Kershaw. I wonder if that's kind of the Dodgers just shipping him out a little bit, because I really, if the injuries, if the starting rotation doesn't get decimated at the end of the year, I don't see him going on the playoff roster. And I don't think because of his velocity, he's going to be coming out of the pen at this stage in his career. So I think that's interesting, kind of more of a regular season thing. But and I think, Teoscar is obviously the main focus. He's getting a lot of interest. Heard names like the Royals, the Nationals, things like that.
He should get a lot of interest.
He should get it. I mean, he was the one that hit the tying 2-1.
5-5, yeah.
5-5. So, I mean, Teoscar's been unreal. Obviously, the whole Soto thing, I don't know that I believe that he's going to be a Dodger, but that would be unbelievable. The Dodgers probably keeping their eye on that. And in Corbin Burns,
let me. I don't want to diminish Juan Soto here for a quick second, but are the Dodgers going to pay him $600 to $700 million for Juan Soto, who's listen, the guy's an absolute star, a stud. I mean, however you want to look at the guy's unbelievable. But I wonder if they're going to say to themselves, why don't we just use that money to get Teoscar Hernandez back, use that money to go get another starting pitcher? Like, they're so, I think, strategic with the way they spend money. Is Juan Soto and 600 to 700 million? He's probably going to be a DH in a couple of years. It's not like he's going to stay. It's not like he's known for being this unbelievable player in right field or anything like that. I know things would change. Do you think they'll make a strong push for him?
I think they're going to check in because it's a kind of a crazy story. You know, I doubt it. I know some of the comments saying the same thing. I also agree with this one guy said, Mike, Roki Sasaki, he's the big name. The Dodgers are the favorite for him, favorite pitcher in Japan. But so I just think it's more of a luxury signing in a weird way because it would be crazy to pair Soto and you have Ohtani and Betts and Freeman and all that. Honestly, if Teoscar's more affordable, I think Teoscar would be the better move. Not saying he's a better player than Juan Soto because he's not, but would be the more affordable. And I think the fan base would definitely be a lot more excited to go get an ace starting pitcher and pair him with Glasnow and Shohei's coming back and things. I think
exactly
it's more
what
of
they need.
It's more of a luxury.
They need more. Yeah, they need more of that. No, that's a good idea. Yeah, just go get another ace. That's fine. No, it makes a whole lot of sense.
Are you getting your boy Snell back on your Padres?
I'm sure the rest of Major League Baseball is very excited for the Dodgers and their upcoming future. I don't know what they're going to do. You know, they're going to have to. I like. Some people are not a fan of AJ Preller. I think he's done a lot with what he's able to do. I mean, if you look at the last 5 years of AJ Preller, that's been his best 5 years. He's made the postseason 3 out of 5 years. I think he's more of AJ Preller, I think, is better off without all the resources. Like, I think he's at his best when he has less to work with, if that makes sense. And that's just, I don't know really how to describe that. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do. But the Dodgers have set such a bar that if you're the San Francisco Giants, that if you're the Arizona Diamondbacks, that if you're the San Diego Padres, the only way you can really compete is making kind of wild swings at times and hope that it works out.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. People definitely want to blame AJ Preller. It's not AJ Preller's fault that Manny Machado couldn't hit a baseball in the playoffs. Like, he made good moves, getting Tanner Scott, flipping the Soto deal, getting Michael King. I mean, people want to bash AJ Preller. I don't think AJ Preller was the problem. The Dodgers pitching staff outworked the Padres hitters in the last 2 games, and I don't really think you can blame Preller on that.
Yeah, I think anybody that's blaming AJ Preller, blame him for the first 5 years that he was with the Padres. You can, and listen, there are going to be some players that end up being some real big leaguers that he ended up trading. But you go look at the Padres, look at their history. They're hanging with the Dodgers. I mean, whether Dodger fans want to give them credit or not, it doesn't matter. The truth is that they've hung with the Dodgers 2 of these last 3 years, have had a legitimate chance to beat them. The 2022 run, give them their credit, but it more kind of came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere. I mean, for the love of God, they traded for Soto. But I think he's done a good job with the Padres, but I keep going back to this. The bar that the Dodgers are setting, you can't really, there is no, well, I think the Dodgers are going to start slowing down. No, I think the fact that they got their World Series this year is the most dangerous thing because they're going to be emboldened. There's going to be less pressure now on them to have to win a World Series, which might make it easier.
I agree. And it was funny listening to Dave Roberts. He talked about how he felt that he was on Mookie's podcast yesterday and was discussing how the Padres felt like the World Series. He said that was the team we were most scared of. That team, you get those division games. You see it in the NFL all the time. I mean, the AFC North, I mean, all those teams, the Browns can be the worst team in football, and they're going to play the Ravens tight. It's
good point. I like that analogy.
Padres and Dodgers, you kind of throw out the records in that series, and Yankee fans got mad at him when he said it, but it was the truth that the Padres played the Dodgers the toughest. The Dodgers absolutely outclassed the Yankees. The Dodgers, I think the talent just wore out, but certainly, I mean, that the Padres division game, this is why it's tough in the playoffs. I think, you can't, people go, oh, the Dodgers are going to win the next, 4 World Series. It's so tough because I think they should be the favorite for most of these World Series. They might. They very well could.
It could happen.
Are you going to the next parade?
I'm never in my life. I'll always be at Petco. If it ever happens again, I will sit at Petco by myself, and I will have Kim. You know what's funny is you just said something that you said Yankee fans were getting upset. What were they upset about? They were getting upset about Dave Roberts saying that was the World Series.
That Joe Kelly also talked about how he did an interview yesterday about how they felt like the Yankees didn't play sound baseball. And you saw it,
awful baseball,
base running, and felt like they were just a lot of talent, not a lot of flaws or a lot of flaws, excuse me. And Dave Roberts talking about how good the Padres were, and Yankee fans are upset. But I'm like, it played out in real life, so I don't know what you're mad about.
Okay, think of Game 1 of the World Series. That first, what were I want to say, and I might be wrong on the score here, but I want to say the Dodgers were up 3-2 late in the game, and it was a simple cutoff. Shohei's trying to get to second. A simple cutoff. Soto's throwing it to who's the second baseman, whoever the second baseman is, and he tries to make a play, doesn't keep the ball in front of him, and then Ohtani gets to third because of the air, and I think it's Mookie that drives him in. It ties the game at 3 apiece. In Game 1, the awful fundamental baseball started for the Yankees. Yankees were talented. I don't even listen. If Padres would have beat the Dodgers, I don't know if they go on to win a World Series. I don't. The Yankees. Maybe the Yankees look at the Padres different than they were looking at the Dodgers, and maybe there's a little intimidation because, oh my gosh, I have no idea if they beat them, but that series, Padres-Dodgers, was kind of as nail-biter as it can get. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I put some videos out on it. I do feel like the Padres brought something out of the Dodgers that has been missing. There was a purpose. There was a fight. All of a sudden, it became a little bit personal. The Padres were trying to punk the Dodgers rather than just beating the Dodgers. It almost feels like the best thing that could have happened for the Dodgers was to get Padres early and beat them. And once they did, it felt like it just went downhill for them in a good way, that momentum going downhill.
Yeah. And not to bring it back to the NFL, but I felt like the World Series this year was a lot like the Chiefs-Eagles 2 years ago. The Eagles were big favorites. They had if you remember, they beat a Giants team in the playoffs, and then they beat the Niners with McCaffrey at quarterback because Purdy got hurt. And people were kind of falling over themselves over these stats and the big plays for the Eagles that they've seen all year. And the road the Chiefs had was going to the Bengals and the Jags in tough, gritty games. And it felt like the Padres really, as you mentioned, brought that out of the Dodgers. The Dodgers play, and the Mets even too. The Mets, to a lesser degree, I think, but were the hottest team in baseball. I think the Padres were the second best team in baseball behind the Dodgers, but the Mets were really just hot.
Yeah.
And I mean, they played the Royals, who was a nice young team, at the Yankees, and the Guardians. I don't think,
AL was clearly. I think you could have picked if you said, "Hey, the Phillies or the Yanks in a 7-game set." I'm taking the Phillies. Dodgers obviously are the Yankees in a 7-game set. I make the case the Padres would probably beat them in a 7-game set. Even the Mets Yankees would have been. You could have said the top 4 teams in the NL were probably better than the best team in the American League. We'll never know, but it seemed that way. Couple here I'm going to read. Padres definitely would have beat the Yankees. I'm not sure, by the way. That would have been an interesting series. Padres' best chance to win was last year. By mid-next year, they're going to be considering trading their expensive players. I don't think those contracts are tradable. So, I mean, if you told me somebody wanted Xander Bogaerts, awesome. I'll drive Xander to the airport. But I think some of the contracts that they have are probably not tradable.
I'm sure Xander Bogaerts would be fine if he got cut and got paid out the rest of his contract.
That contract's insane. All right, brother. I know, keep an eye out for tonight. Sammy's going to be doing his preview video, Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. Sammy, I appreciate you coming on, brother, and breaking everything down. Thank you, man.
Thank you for having me, dude. Appreciate it.
And make sure you send out who you're voting for. All right, relax. Yeah. Everybody relax. Everybody relax. All right, Sammy.
Put in the comments.
There you go. Sammy Long right there. Good job from him. Okay, I'm going to keep going here for a quick second because I do want to do this. I'm going to play this Jayson Tatum clip. So Jayson Tatum, obviously part of the Boston Celtics, was on a podcast. And let me give me 2 seconds here to kind of load this up. I'm going to give credit to the podcast, Club 520 podcast. Let's take a quick listen. Jayson Tatum was talking about the draft when he was getting drafted, potentially getting drafted to the Los Angeles Lakers, how bad he wanted to be a Los Angeles Laker. Let's take a quick listen. Here's Jayson Tatum on that podcast.
Listen, we know where you win the draft, but did you think you was going number one?
Mm-mm. I think Boston was just perfect.
No, I mean, it definitely worked out. The narrative was consensus that Markelle was going number one.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Lakers got the second pick, it was like Lonzo was going two. So if the Celtics had the number one pick at the time, they came to watch me in Phoenix. So Phoenix was 4. I work out for all of them. They come watch me. But then somebody, I ain't gonna say his name, but somebody on the Celtics front office was like, yo, one of the best workouts I've seen. Good luck in your career. But, you know, we got the number one pick. We probably not gonna pick you. So at the time, I was like, for me, I grew up a Kobe fan. Like, I always wanted to play for the Lakers.
Don't do it.
For them to have the number 2 pick, and it was like it wasn't even a thought that I was going to get drafted. That was kind of devastating. So I never worked out for the Lakers. They never came to watch me work out. It was like a week before the draft. Philly and Boston traded the 31 pick. And I wanted to go to Phoenix. Phoenix had the 4th pick. Errol Watson was the coach. I went out there. I was looking at houses. The weather was nice. They had a young team. I was like, man, I'm going to go get to play. And then I remember Coach K was like, yo, Boston want to have you for a second workout. You should go. And I'm like, Coach, like, they just came off the Eastern Conference Finals. They got a veteran team. Like, I'm probably not going to play. And he was raving about Brad Stevens. He was like, Brad's one of the best coaches in the league. And I remember I went up to Boston like 3 days before the draft. I had another workout. But, you know, the rest was history, and it all worked out.
All right, that's Jayson Tatum right there. So Tatum, you heard what he said. He wanted to be a Los Angeles Laker. You know, I think there's a lot of Laker fans that look at the front office, and I want to mention a couple things here because I think it's easy to say, oh my gosh, you know, what the hell were the Lakers doing? All that stuff. Lakers got caught up at the time. Remember, it was Magic and it was Rob Pelinka. Lakers got caught up in that time of wanting to take Lonzo Ball because Lonzo Ball was an LA kid. He was from UCLA. There was a lot of hype behind Lonzo Ball as well. To not even give Tatum a workout is a little, that's kind of crazy to me that the guy didn't even get a chance to play for didn't even get a chance to get an opportunity to work out for the Los Angeles Lakers. He wanted to be a Laker. He was a big Kobe fan, the whole thing. I mean, kind of add all of this together. But I want to kind of just remind everybody, I don't know what would have happened if they did draft Tatum, because remember, the Lakers, when they traded for Anthony Davis, and I think everybody would agree that when they traded Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram and Josh Hart and those picks, they eventually got an NBA championship. Remember, the only piece that they held on to was Kyle Kuzma. So I don't know what would have happened. I just think it shows that the Lakers predetermined, already made a decision of who they were going to draft if that player was available. Clearly, Jayson Tatum was the best player in that draft class. Markelle Fultz, short as far as his career, never panned out to being a number 1 pick. Lonzo Ball has dealt with his injuries. I'm a fan of his game, but he can't stay healthy. Jayson Tatum is a 26-year-old champion already. He's been to the finals twice, and God knows by the time his career is done how many championships he's going to have. Yeah, you could look at it a number of different ways. I don't know if they still make the trade for Anthony Davis. They probably still do. What happens to who's included in that trade? Do the Lakers do everything they can to hold on to Tatum? Is Tatum included, but they keep Ingram? How much does it change? I have no idea. I think we'll never know, but I think anytime you see a player of that talent that wanted to be a Los Angeles Laker and the Lakers said no, that's a tough one to swallow, and I'm sure a lot of Laker fans feel that way. Let's see what we got here. Lonzo was weak before he was drafted. He's fragile. He's a baller. He just can't be healthy. Magic thought Lonzo was the second coming. Remember that presser when he's like, he's looking up at the facility. He's like, you know, save some of my stats. Don't take over all the stats that I have. Well, that clearly obviously didn't happen. So however you want to look at it, that was Tatum, and Jayson Tatum is in New Orleans. I think what you're saying there is that the Lakers would have traded him to New Orleans. I think Lakers were going to make the trade no matter what to go get Anthony Davis. They were trying to accommodate to LeBron. So however you want to look at it, that was going to happen. The trade for AD was still worth it if we got a championship for it. None of the guys we traded were game changers. Well, Tatum would have been a game changer, so something to keep in mind there. All right, my people, I appreciate you guys hanging out. That's over an hour here. What's Tuesdays and Thursdays? What happens on Tuesdays and Thursdays? I got to go make sales calls. Had a good meeting yesterday. Met with one of these local casinos out here in Southern California. So working on some stuff there. I got some packages that I got to put together. I got to put some stuff out there. We got some sales calls to make. Don't hit me on Twitter. Don't hit me on Instagram. I don't have time for an election tonight. I got to go try to make some money for this company here, for this business here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Obviously, election coming tonight, so it'll be an interesting evening. Let's just leave it at that. And I appreciate you guys hanging out here for 1 hour and 6 minutes. Thank you for doing so. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to the channel. Sammy Long with a preview video tonight of Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. Lakers got the Grizzlies tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. 8:30 tomorrow morning, Doug McCain of Dodgers Nation is going to join me. On Thursday, Ryan Abraham, who covers USC for USCfootball.com, they're making a change at their starting quarterback. They're starting off the Big Ten, the change to the Big Ten Conference awful, and I want to get somebody who actually covers the team to spend some time talking about USC and their future. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it, guys. Hope you guys are good, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day.